program on WROI Giant FM and streaming live on the First Federal Facebook page.
And good morning. It is Friday morning, and that does mean it is time for the First Federal program. We've got Todd Van Sickle hosting today. Good morning, Todd. How you doing?
Good morning, Bruce. I'm doing well. Thank you for having us on today.
Oh, I absolutely love having you guys on. You guys are one of my favorite guests to have on here.
Highlight of your Friday morning, right?
Yes. I look forward to it every week.
Thank you, Moose. We're here with Tanner Lee today, as usual, bringing us sports and tidbits. Today, our special guests from Fulton County Habitat Humanity are Karmin, Reeves, and Rachel Arndt. We'll be talking to them in a few minutes about what the local Habitat chapter is doing here to help out our community, and there's a lot of great things happening there. And we'll give you some time in a few minutes. So welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Weather looks pretty good this weekend. Some days, I mean,
Yeah.
50s, 60s. At least it's not snowing like earlier in the week.
Yeah, the last chance for precipitation is tomorrow throughout 8 p.m. tomorrow night, and then it dries out for the rest of the weekend.
And it's rain, not snow, right?
Right. It is rain.
We had enough snow earlier in the week on a couple days. Right?
Yes, no more snow.
So rainy tomorrow, but nicer Sunday. So and into the 70s next week. So
73 Monday, 80 on Tuesday.
so these April showers are going to bring the May flowers, right?
That's what they say.
So did anybody get up at 6 o'clock this morning like I did to watch the SpaceX launch? All right, Karmin. Good,
You know,
good.
I was up, but I didn't watch it because I was fighting with things.
It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's amazing to see the night or early dawn launches, just how far you can see them, and just how it was a successful launch. They're on their way to the International Space Station. They'll be there tomorrow about the same time and hope to dock, and 4 astronauts. And it's interesting, the SpaceX NASA partnership they have there. And after I watched the launch, I got it right before the launch. I kind of did some highlights after that. When the astronauts come out of their preparatory building, of course they get in Teslas to drive to the launch pad.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, thought that was interesting. Other space news, it's a good space week this week. I mean, on Mars we've got the little helicopter flying.
Yeah.
Yesterday was 16 feet above ground and forward and lateral movements.
And I see they haven't discovered any Martians yet, so that's good.
No, but they did amazing accomplishment. They made oxygen out of the Mars atmosphere yesterday.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's something I read that's going to be really vital to our continued space flight, because it'll allow them to make rocket fuel with oxygen and things like that, and even provide for sustainability for the astronauts. So interesting. Trivia today. Habitat. It's not going to be a Habitat question. It's
Okay.
Habitat International was founded in 1976. Moose, what was the top song on Billboard Top 100 the week of April 24th, 1976? You might know this from your radio history and knowledge, and you probably have some of the vinyl on top of the ceiling here.
Yeah, probably.
The possible answers are Right Back Where We Started From, Maxine Nightingale. I remember that one. Disco Lady, Johnny Taylor. Remember that one also? There's kind of a stumper. I mean, something in here that can make you lean that way, but may not be the right answer. Bohemian Rhapsody from Queen.
Okay.
So you've got Right Back Where We Started From, Disco Lady, and Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay.
April 24th, 1976. Jog that memory.
Yeah. This is your fault if I get it wrong, Tanner.
Of course it is, yeah. I'll take the blame.
So Tanner, why don't you talk about a little sports here?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Good morning. Of course, locally, got a bunch of sports going on like we do every week. It's so many sports going on, it's kind of hard to recap all of them. But baseball, tennis, track and field, softball, all in action. So
Let's just
golf.
check the local high school website and Max Preps. That will
Yeah.
give you the schedule, because it changes a lot due to rain and snow. And
Absolutely, yeah. Cancellations, postponements, all that stuff. So, like Todd said, those are the best places. WRI, the Sentinel, all of the above.
7 and noon, Johnny's got all the sports coverage.
Perfect. On the national scene and locally, the Indy 500 announced this week they're going to allow 40% capacity at the race this year.
Yeah.
That's still 135,000 people.
And that's a good amount of people.
I think that's good news. I like to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Yes.
kind of weird watching these sports with nobody in the stands. And,
Yeah.
you know, people going around the racetrack with empty stands.
Yeah.
Even the Masters golf course. I mean, they had limited crowds there. It just looked different.
Yeah, it looked different. The Masters was better this time around than it was in November when they had literally about nobody. But without the grandstands and everything, it was still different. So it'll be nice to get a good amount of people there for the race. I know I saw somebody on Twitter tweeting his family usually gets 6 tickets. They're only allowed 4 this year.
Ooh.
So now they're trying to get 2 more somehow so they can all go. But good news for everybody that enjoys the race. That'll be a lot better this year.
So it'll be a family lottery in case they don't. Who gets
Exactly.
who gets to be the designated driver to drop them off?
There you
actually.
go.
That'd be
There
the
you
best
go.
way to do it.
Yeah. Maybe they don't have to draw straws this time or anything like that. So it'll be the biggest attended sporting event since the pandemic started. The Olympics announced they're going to delay their decision on if they're going to have live crowds or not until June. So the Olympics look like they're going to happen in July, but they'll make a decision on the crowds.
Okay.
I would honestly be a little surprised if they allow crowds at the Olympics.
Do you think it'll even happen?
I think it's going to.
Yeah, there's so much invested in this and time.
You're right, but I mean, you are bringing athletes from all sorts of countries in. They're really just going to have to be bubbled like everything else. So I hope it happens for the athletes' sake because they've trained so hard for this and already been delayed a year.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't happen this year, I don't think they'll probably delay it until next year. I probably think they'll drop it and move on to the next one. So, and the PGA Tour this week made an interesting announcement. They're not going to make any of their players who are vaccinated already get tested anymore for COVID, but they're going to make the non-vaccinated players pay for their own COVID tests.
Interesting.
Well, the players that are vaccinated, that kind of aligns with the CDC guidelines if they're vaccinated, and also with the making the non-vaccinated players pay that for their own testing. That seems reasonable.
Yeah, they're kind of I don't want to say cornering their players to get vaccinated, but they're kind of letting them know they want them to get vaccinated to be out there. So in a way, because I mean, of course the players can afford it for the test,
Right.
but I'm sure they'll get tired of doing that after a while. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes, but it's just nice to start seeing crowds at all sporting events.
Absolutely.
Major League Baseball, every stadium's had some crowds this year, so in different capacities. So it's nice to see.
I was watching some college softball the other day, and they still had the cardboard fans, and it threw me off. I'm like, it just looks so weird.
Yeah, it's different from each venue, so.
Well, that's probably typical for Cleveland. They want to have some fans in the stands, right?
Oh man, we've got fans there, believe it or
Yes,
not.
they do.
Yeah, a lot of Major League Baseball going on right now. Did the Cubs end up winning? I honestly wasn't.
I'm a diehard Cubs fan, and I've tried to distance myself this year.
Yeah.
I have not watched one game. So
I know it was extra innings against the Mets, and I forgot to check this morning if they won or not. So
Okay.
I do know the Yankees beat the Indians, so I had to throw that in there.
6-3.
Got some tidbits here this morning. Speaking of baseball, on this day in 1954, Hank Aaron hit his first of 755 career home runs.
Oh wow.
This is your bonus trivia question today.
Oh yeah.
Hank Aaron passed away in January, and even earlier this month he had the anniversary of passing Babe Ruth. When he passed Babe Ruth, this is a great trivia question for people who play trivia. He played the Los Angeles Dodgers. Who was the opposing pitcher that pitched Hank Aaron's 715th home run? You can think about that and answer that later.
That is a good.
I don't even
I
get
bet you
multiple
Tanner knows
choice.
that.
I'd have to think about it for a little
Okay.
bit, so I'll have to think about it and chime in. On this day in 1985, new Coke debuted. Coca-Cola announced it is changing its secret flavor formula. I don't think that went over real well, did it?
No.
It only lasted about 3 months,
Okay.
and they
Yeah.
came back with Coca-Cola Classic.
Yeah.
Apparently what they were trying to do was, through taste testing, Pepsi was tasting sweeter in their taste tests, so they tried to have something compete with it. There's also a great conspiracy theory out there, which I kind of abide by, is that this was actually planned marketing promotion, because they reintroduced Classic Coke, branded and everything, in 3 months.
Yeah.
And it went to record sales.
That's a good point. That's pretty hard to do in 3 months unless you have it planned out, I would say.
Right.
So.
And New Coke lasted until 1992 after that.
Okay.
That's Coke 2.
Wow.
I got to say I never tasted new Coke, so it's good to know.
Well, yeah. It left and you came around.
Yeah, I was born in '92, so on this day in 1989, wine merchant William Sokolin, I hope I pronounced his name right, broke a bottle of 1787 Chateau Morgao, possibly belonging to Thomas Jefferson. It was worth $500,000 at the Four Seasons restaurant in New York.
Oops.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's why I put it down, and I read that, I was like, wow, could you imagine?
No.
Everybody makes mistakes in their jobs, right?
Sure, sure. It's maybe not an expensive one like that.
Yeah, but he didn't have a job much longer.
Probably not. And today is National Talk Like Shakespeare Day.
Mm-hmm.
It's National Asparagus Day, German Beer Day, Lost Dog Awareness Day, Day of Silence, World Book Night, and English Language Day.
Okay.
There's a little bit of something for everybody there.
Yeah.
So you could probably look up if you like asparagus, have it with your German beer, and maybe read a book tonight.
Yeah, it's also English Muffin Day, which he didn't have, so
Oh,
you can
I
have an
have
English
that
muffin
one
with it too.
Lots of days today.
Lots of days.
Thank you for your tidbits.
Yeah,
Sharon.
you're welcome.
Upcoming events. A lot of things going on in the next week or so. The spring's coming on. The Friends of Fulton County Parks will be handing out free trees on May 1st at the Prairie Edge Nature Park at 9 a.m. 400 trees will be given out, first come, first served. So, if you need a tree on your property, I know you're doing lots of work on your house, that might be
No
start
more
of the
trees.
landscaping.
No more trees.
The North Central Indiana Association of Realtors is holding a Shred for Food event day on May 1st also, from 1 to 3 at the Rochester Kroger parking lot. There's a $5 per box or free will donation, and all money collected will be donated to the Marshall and Fulton County food pantries. That's a great cause also.
Absolutely.
And also on beginning of May, the annual 38th annual Kiwanis Club Chicken Noodle Dinner will be held on Monday, May 3rd from 5 to 7. Again, it's going to be at the Fulton County Historical Society this year rather than the usual. Tickets are $9 and they're at the door or from any Kiwanis member, and it'll be carry out only.
Okay.
So that's always a good event to support too, like their turkey dinner, the chicken noodle dinner. That's
Yeah.
great.
Absolutely.
Have some flowers to give out this week. The Chamber of Commerce awarded their second quarter Shining Star Award. It went to the Fulton County Health Department, and that's great too because they've been very busy with
Yes,
the COVID
absolutely.
vaccine and
Yes.
helping our community out, so that's very well deserved. Thank you for all the health department does for our community, and congratulations on the Chamber Award. Money news.
Money.
U.S. stocks turned sharply down yesterday,
Okay.
seeing the biggest one-day slide since early March, following a news report that President Biden is weighing a proposal that would nearly double the capital gains tax for wealthy individuals.
Oh, wow.
So the Dow went down about 300 points to 33,815 yesterday. Some good news though too, Southwest Airlines, this is surprising due to COVID, they expect bookings to continue to rise and they hope to break even or better by June.
Ah.
Good.
It's amazing that companies can survive. Some of them are surviving with
Right.
COVID, and Southwest hopes to break even or better by June.
Hey, that's good to hear.
First Federal Savings, we are open from 8:30 to 5 today and 8:30 to noon tomorrow. Of course, you can always bank online with us through our mobile app, which is free to download. Our ATM's open 24/7. If you need some cash, and you can access any of our ATMs through the MoneyPass network. We're going to talk about specifically about mortgage products today, such as our conventional loans, our one-step construction loans, premier first-time homebuyer loans. We can pretty much meet any home lending need that you have. Two featured products today are home equity line of credit, where you can remodel your home or consolidate debts without refinancing your first mortgage loan. There's draw and repayment terms to meet your needs and fit your budget. There's no closing costs, and you can access your funds through a home equity line of credit debit card. A new feature program this month is our no point, no fee loan and no closing cost loan. It's for all purchase and refinance loans on primary and secondary residences. The closing costs will be paid by the bank, or the appraisal, the credit report, document prep, recording, tax service, flood, and some other fees. Borrower will be responsible for other closing fees like inspections, escrows, things like that. But this is a really good deal too, because you can save, approximately $1,600–1,700 on a closing cost. And we're in the business to make loans, and rates are great right now. So if you haven't refinanced yet, or if you're looking to maybe move up and change your home, come see Ben Dalton or Stacy Wilson in Rochester and Winamac, and they'd be more than happy to help you out. And we have some great lending programs that can pretty much meet any of your needs. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can see, if you want to spend your time, old radio shows on the YouTube channel.
You can kind of watch the studio evolve
That's
from
true.
what it was to what it is now through the videos.
Very nice. I mean, very well painted here, nicely decorated. Got great vinyl on the ceiling, new lights in here. Brand new studio for you, Moose.
Yeah, and we're not done yet.
Great. Wow. So as we say, we're the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. We don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We are FDIC insured and an equal housing lender. Our NMLS number is 399927.
And that makes us legal.
Apparently last time I did this, my wife told me I left out one of the nines. So,
Oh, I didn't even catch it.
well, good. So
Glad she did.
I'll blame you, Moose.
There we go.
So welcome Karmin, Reeves, and Rachel Arndt to the show today from the Fulton County Habitat for Humanity.
Thank you.
for having us.
We're glad you're here today. A lot of good things going on. Why don't we start off by giving a little bit of what your roles are with Habitat for Humanity. Karmin, why don't you start here?
Yes, I'm president of Fulton County Habitat. I've been involved for 16 years. First 6 years I was president for three years. Then you have to take a year break. Then I was president for 5 out of the 6 years. I had to take a break because you can only be president 3 years. So I was vice president one of those years. And then I took a 2-year break, went with Hope, and finished working on, I was treasurer of Hope and did some 501(c) with Virgia Smith. And then I came back and they put me back as president.
Well, thank you for your commitment and dedication. I know that Habitat has accomplished a lot. And Rachel Arndt is with us today from Habitat.
Yes.
What is your role with Habitat?
I
Rachel?
am the chairperson of the Family Selection Committee. That's a new position for me. I came on the board in 2019 and then just agreed to be the chairperson, maybe 2 months ago?
February 1st or whatever, first part of February.
Well, that's what's great about our local Habitat for Humanity. It's an international organization, but in Fulton County, it's locally ran by local volunteers on the board. You have about 30 board members, right?
We have 24 officially.
24, I'm sorry. But it's local people. They're making local decisions
Correct.
for the best interest of our community. In your 16 years, how many homes are out there right now that have been built by Habitat?
Actually, there are 16 homes,
Okay.
but they weren't built necessarily one a year, but we are getting ready to start our 17th. We have the family selected, and we are in the process of next steps.
That's great. We'll talk about that a little bit. The Family Selection Committee, Rachel, and what they do and how you select the family. Why don't you share a little bit about, and Karmin can help you out here
Sure.
with, what is the application process, the approval process, the review process?
Well, the process starts, of course, with the family who wants to be considered filing an application and sending it into us. And there are a few ways to do that. I think some families have dropped them off in person to Karmin or other members of the Habitat Board, and then others mail their applications in. We do have a P.O. box, that's P.O. Box 843 here in Rochester. And once we receive that application, then what we do is we send a letter to the families letting them know that we've received their application and we're reviewing it. So we take the application, we review it as a committee. If we need more information, then we reach out to the family and we let them know that. If their application is complete, then we start some of our other steps in the process. And what we do then is we just information gather. We do background checks, we look at finances, we do our due diligence to make sure that the family meets all of the requirements to receive a Habitat house. We even do a home visit where the family is currently living, and we make sure that we're aware of everybody that's in the family unit and that we can verify the information in the application. And then from there, we meet again as a family selection committee and we either deny the application and then that family is no longer in the process, or we accept them and then we move forward and kind of onboarding, and they start doing their community service hours.
Regarding the application process, you know, I know you have a family for your next house now, but you're always accepting applications.
That's correct.
Is that right?
That's correct. I think I've sent out 3 initial letters to families that have sent in applications for our next round. So we're actively in that process for the next house.
Where can they find an application, Rachel?
Well, I have them. Do you have them?
I have them.
Okay. Do we have a website?
We have a website,
Okay.
Fulton County Habitat for Humanity, all one word, .org. And it is on the on the website. They can go to an application and actually print it, actually fill it out, print it, and get it sent back in.
Very good. We'd also, Karmin and I had spoken about having some community events where people that are interested can come and meet with us in person, and we can answer questions about the application. We can give them a physical copy of the application at that time as well.
That's great, so they can just learn some background information to kind of help them fill out the application and
Correct.
learn more about what Habitat does and what the requirements are. That's great.
And I have talked to the Recovery Cafe, to have it in the Recovery Cafe, and to, we just need to decide when we're going to do this and how we're going to do this. And we may have it at different time frames, even if Rachel can't be there, if I can be there, different people can be there to explain it, so that we hit people that maybe work at night during the day and people that work during the day at night. And people do need to have some income, and a lot of people don't understand that. This is a hand up, it is not a handout.
So after the approval process, there's some criteria they need to fill, some volunteer hours. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
There's lots of different ways. You have to understand, Rachel has not been a part of the family selection prior. I told her I'd be here to help step in. At any rate, right now the family that is, usually we try to get the family, if at all possible, during the build of the house prior. And we here in Fulton County only pick one family, not numerous, and keep in line. We don't build a lot of houses. We build one at a time for the specific family that is chosen. That doesn't mean the rest can't be second or third in line. We have had to drop down to the second in line. And the other thing is then they are eligible for the following one, possibly, if they want to continue the process. But this family has worked with Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts, so they are involved in a community project that we do accept, working at the shelter, doing Christmas baskets or other community projects.
Working on the house that we're building.
Working on the house that we're building.
So the expectation is they put in community volunteer hours, put in some sweat equity into the community. There's really a great number of hours, actually.
Actually, they have to, if for each adult, which includes 18 and over, each adult has to have 75 hours in prior to us agreeing to have a groundbreaking ceremony. Not that their foundation is built then, but the groundbreaking ceremony, meaning that they have done that part. Now, there are only so many hours that they can receive by community service other than the house. And the hope is they get most of their hours on the house that's being built
That's
prior.
right. So when people apply, they qualify, they get approved, they'll go through that approval process, they'll work community hours, that groundbreaking will occur, the house construction will start, they'll be expected to volunteer some more time for sweat equity.
They have up to 250 per
That's
adult.
Okay, and that's great, because that gets them directly involved in the project, so
Correct.
helps them with the pride of home ownership a little bit.
And the children also each have to have 15 hours. And a lot of people don't understand that. So and even if they're young, they can pick up trash from cans and bottles. And we had one down here on the corner of 12th and Main. Marcy Murphy, I remember when Kai was 6 years old, and he was putting on the plates for the electrical outlets and for the things, and did that throughout his house. Now, somebody was with him all the time, don't get me wrong. I mean, we have to have people there that are qualified, including a parent usually. That is when you're talking a 6-year-old. But there are things that these young students can do.
Now, we've had families help too with our fundraising activities and our
Yes, we have.
health outing as
Correct.
So fundraising activities, I know you're gonna have a community fundraising activity coming up soon. You have a campaign starting in May, I believe, right, Karmin?
Correct. I had the family that is presently picked write a letter, and they have included a little bit of history about their selves, and then a little bit about, you know, this is an ask. We have not sent an ask letter out for probably 5 or 6 years, except for sponsorship for golf, etc. But that doesn't involve like all the churches, because Habitat is a Christian organization, and therefore there are churches that do supply all the time some monies. But as many churches as there are, which is close to 60, not quite, in Fulton County, there's an awful lot that do not contribute anymore. So we are going to ask all the churches.
And so you need great support from the general citizens of the community to help keep
Correct.
Habitat going and provide the funds for the next home.
Correct.
And that will be an ask that community residents will be receiving in May sometime, so
Correct.
we'd ask for thoughtful consideration of that. And then you have a golf outing coming up in August 14th that Tanner Lee is coordinating, and
Tanner and Ginger Slisher.
okay. And I
They
know
are
that
coordinator.
you had your event last year during the COVID year, and it was
Did.
very successful.
Very.
Looking for bigger and better even this year. So
Absolutely.
if you're a golf fan, contact Tanner Lee. He can give you some more information about that. That's August 14th of this year.
And we'll probably start working on that May or June and really hit it hard for teams and sponsorships.
Great. So if you're interested, contact anybody on the board. You can find the board members probably on the website, I assume.
I hope it's been
Okay.
updated. I'm not
Okay,
sure,
sorry.
looking over there at Tanner.
First,
Our
You got
tech
Tanner.
That's okay, you know.
Carmen, Rachel, Tanner, anybody that's on the board, they'd be happy to give you more information and help out with any questions you might have, fundraising opportunities, getting an application. There's been some more news about Habitat recently. The foundation provided a grant to the foundation.
Yes, the foundation, we were fortunate enough to be, I guess the true word is given the property that was burned on Monroe Street. And I applied for a grant from NICF, and Northern Indiana Community Foundation is so wonderful in our community and has been very, very supportive of Habitat for Humanity. And we were granted $9,500 for David Jackson Excavating to take it down. That's who we use. And he has put it back into buildable ground at this point in time for whenever we need it. And so it's great that we can, for extra things like that, that we can solicit grants in the area, because this town and county are very, very supportive of all the nonprofits. I can't stress that enough.
Speaking of support, how can the community get more involved with Habitat? Through either working on a home or helping with something out? What are some opportunities?
You want to give anything, or?
Sure. Well, we're always looking for help with the golf outing. We can always use volunteers for that. With anything.
We do
Help
have,
is wanted. I think accept donations of water and snacks.
we
and
do
things like
accept
that.
some
We do.
snacks and water, and we have had churches that do that, particularly when we built in Akron. They were very, very helpful. There have been things like banks, including First Federal, I believe, when it was Wells Fargo, that they also took a group of people out and helped paint or do whatever on a Saturday. Our main work is on a Saturday, although there are constantly people in there working during the week.
So I've volunteered before. You don't have to be a master carpenter to
Okay.
volunteer. I mean, I mowed a yard, picked up trash, did some painting, swept the floor.
I think my husband went out and helped roof one time, I think.
So
No, we
there's,
don't do many
No?
roofs, not here, we
Maybe
don't
he
do
picked up
many roofs.
shingles. He
That
did
could be.
something with
So,
shingles, I
there's
think.
that.
When, we also partner with Rochester
those
Homes.
two, yes.
And that has been a blessing in disguise, so we are not one that literally builds the shell. We will get the shell, which is, Rochester Homes has really partnered with us on this.
They're very generous with that.
Very generous, and so our last few homes have been Rochester Homes.
Well, great. Thank you for your time this morning. If you want to learn more about Habitat for Humanity, check out the website, contact Karmin, Reeves, Rachel Arndt, Tanner Lee. They're all three in the studio today. Thank you for all you do.
You can also say Sharon Van Sickle, your wife, who is treasurer.
Yeah, she's a great partner. So, don't hesitate to get involved with Habitat for Humanity. It's a great thing that our community does here, and providing affordable homes is really important for our economy and for the well-being of our community. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you for having us on.
Thank you for having us.
And before you get into the trivia question, give myself a few more minutes here to think about it. We were handed a note while you guys were finishing up. The shred for food is actually at the old Kroger gas station.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate
it was a little off there. It was, I think you said at Kroger, and it's
Yeah.
the Kroger gas station in that area. So just wanted to get the right information out there.
Well, thank you. I
so we didn't
apologize for
have
that.
wrong.
I probably said that wrong.
No, they
so-
had it wrong.
Oh, no problem. Well, the right place is the old Kroger near the gas station.
Yes.
And that's, let me look at the date here again.
First.
And May 1st, from 1 to 3, at the old Kroger old Kroger's location near the gas station, $5 per box or free will donation.
There we have it.
So there's the update on that. Did that give you enough time to think about that?
It did.
Okay.
I'm still going with a wild guess, so here we go.
Right back where we started from, Disco Lady to Bohemian Rhapsody.
It was the 70s. I gotta go disco.
Rachel, Carmen, do you have any idea?
I'll
I think
say,
that would have been my guess too.
I would say Bohemian Rhapsody, but I don't know.
Well, Moose, you've done it again.
Good
Disco
job.
Lady.
I
Congratulations,
almost
Rachel.
said disco, so that's awesome.
That's, your deductive reasoning is very good there.
Yeah,
Bohemian Rhapsody was a little later than that. I knew that one. So
so,
that eliminated that one for me.
So we'll close today with our words of wisdom. Did my wife prompt Tanner on this question here at all? Okay. Patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting.
oh, good
Those
one.
are fantastic words
Yes.
of wisdom.
So practice patience this weekend.
Yes.
Right,
And with that, thank you guys very much. We look forward to having you guys back again next week.
Thank you.